And now, live from Las Vegas, the Joey Ciccone Show.
The Joey Ciccone Show.
Connected.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Joey Ciccone. You are here live at WCOBM.com Las Vegas. I want to start off the show today sending out all my love and respect to all the officers in Dallas that were killed and that were hurt, and all the civilians. And I also want to send out my love and prayers to civilians that were hurt by officers. A lot going on in the world, my friends, and I want to get that right off my back right away. I have a very special show for you today. You know, I always try to bring you the top shows here on the Joey Ciccone Show Connected. My wonderful guest here, direct from New York City, Michael Dowd. Mike, I want to welcome you to Las Vegas, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, Joe. I'm on this show with a heavy heart right now.
Right.
There's no getting around the fact that the last several months, maybe even several years, have been a lot of controversy surrounding police tactics,
right.
and the thankless job that they do on a daily basis. And
sure.
Yesterday was an example of how the police were protecting a community so they can peacefully protest this maybe questionable shootings that took place. We all agree they were probably very questionable, and now more officers lost their life in light of disgraceful situation. It should not have happened.
It's just so much going on, man.
And we're talking about a movie that I did that I'm involved in called The 7-5 that took place in the 80s during the crack epidemic. So I don't want people to lose focus on the tragedy at hand today,
right?
With the somewhat lighthearted approach that we may have towards this extraordinary documentary.
Yeah, and I love that, Michael. And we wanted to get that across to all fans and friends of myself and Michael. So we're here to do our show today, and it's very riveting. But then again, we want to show the love and show the respect. That's the type of guys we are. Speaking of that, I want to step right into things. As you know, my show is an hour, and I've got a lot to cover today. But Michael Dowd is a former New York Police Department officer arrested in 1992 for basically running a drug ring out of Suffolk County, Long Island. Mike, the bottom line is you were an NYPD Blue officer and a rogue cop. And
yeah.
I can't express it any more clear than that. That's what it basically is.
Yeah, so what it is I was a young guy. I became a police officer early on in my police career. I learned the ins and the outs of the ways of the street, and at some point I stepped over the line and began to turn it into a profitable organization for myself and fellow officers that were involved with me. With much dismay, I speak frankly about it, because that's what documentaries are based on, honesty and frankness, and I try to be honest and frank about the past.
Well,
it's not where I currently embolden. It's not who I am today.
Right.
But it's what happened in the 80s. 21-year-old guys in the crack epidemic.
It is
guns.
It is what it is. I want to set everyone straight on this, please. First of all, I want to tell you the film, The 7-5. Okay, I mean, it was just riveting. I mean, we're going to see a trailer of it today, but you definitely have to catch that. I believe last night it was on the movie channel.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I don't follow it that closely, but I heard it was on the movie channel, and it's actually on again today.
Okay, so it's on again today. So you get a chance. The 7-5. That's the precinct that he worked out of in Brooklyn, New York. Now I want to say something, because it says it's the cop version of Goodfellas, and you guys know my background a little bit. The bottom line is, it really is, and it's really a trip.
Better.
I highly recommend Michael's life story. It's better. How can you be
sorry?
And my thing is this. I mean, how can you be sitting here after all the things that I watched and witnessed? I mean, we're talking bags of money, cocaine, power, control, all fueled while carrying a badge. All right, let me ask you this. What year did you become an NYPD Blue officer?
1982.
Okay, and I'm just going to pump out a few.
I was 21 years old. Yeah.
That's what I want to know. How old were you, 21?
Right.
Did you always want to be a cop?
No.
Okay, what made you get into law enforcement, basically?
I needed a job.
Well, that's always good, right?
I needed a job with benefits.
Job.
I wanted to get married and have a wife and children. Like, I wanted to start a family. That's what we would, young Irish guys, from the suburbs.
Irish.
young Irish gangsters, whatever you want to call us. So, the police, the fire. Back then, it was a big family, and I was part of that family. My family were police officers and firefighters. Uncles,
they were?
Uncles.
Okay.
My whole family was entrenched
okay.
deeply in this whole organization of civil service. And
Very good.
And I knew it was the easiest way for me, my path. It's like I didn't have an accountant as a father or a doctor. Mine was a fireman. So I took the civil service exams and became a professional in the police
You got
department.
the exams. You have to do a physical. You do all the things. You get in.
Right.
Okay. Boom. Now you're an officer. Okay. The bottom line is, let me ask you something. They call you the dirtiest cop ever.
Whatever.
That's the word on the street. I'm just throwing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I do because it's an easy label. Right?
All right. Well, in the documentary at the end, I hear you say you wanted to be the best. Does that ever mess with your head? You wanted to be the best officer that you could be.
Of course, and that's why you'll see, like, even if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm very still pro-police in this aspect that, if they're doing the right things, but I'm the first one to shine a light where something's wrong today, because I feel that if I only had the opportunity to do right from the beginning and stayed straight, my life would have taken a different path.
Would have been a totally different.
I'd be
path.
retired
Exactly.
in Arizona with a pension.
Right, exactly. All right, but the bottom line is you took bribes,
Right.
small at first, large later on. Once you got away with it, we talked about this. Did you crave more?
Well, yeah, we briefly talked about it outside the studio
Right.
here. Yeah, what happens is it's like anything else. You start out with a piece of bubble gum at the candy store, and in a couple of months you're jacking cars in young guys from the street from your neighborhood.
Gabish, right? Yeah,
You'd hotwire cars, right?
yeah. Bensonhurst.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Lindenhurst.
saying. I don't want to.
God, say it.
Yeah,
We're gonna say everything today, so it don't matter.
So
We tell it the way it is.
Right.
man.
I mean, that was the path, right? So
the
same
path.
thing in the police department. I started out with a free lobster lunch, and it turned into bags and bags and bags of money and trips to Atlantic City.
Yeah, and friends, this ain't a movie. This is reality. I'm talking from watching the documentary and studying it very closely. We're talking bags of money. We're talking a lot of cocaine, guns, and he was dealing with top drug dealers.
Kingpins,
all right?
they call them
Kingpins, all right?
kingpins,
Yeah. All right. You were the ringleader. Your first partner, guy named Chicky. I kind of like the name, because it's Ciccone,
Sort of like
and
you.
they call me like Chicky,
They
so
call
I
you
like
Chicky,
it.
too,
But tell me
right.
about Chicky real quick.
So Chicky was a great guy because he was the type of guy that I knew no matter what was down, he had my back.
That was your first partner?
That's not correct. I had several partners.
Okay.
Chicky and I were never actually directly considered partners, but we were co-workers on the same shift for a long period of time.
Okay.
So while I may have had different partners over the years, Chicky was always there as the other car, because Chicky was sort of like me. We really couldn't be partners.
But so he was in the other.
He was in the other car.
thing.
Yeah, so he was in the other car, and I was in one car. So you needed two, like an A personality and a B personality, sort of in a
Right.
car.
He was the calm guy.
Well, he was a calm guy, but not in his car. See, but if he was around me, he'd be a calm guy.
right,
So,
exactly.
but he couldn't take that role. So,
Right. Okay.
so he
all
ran
right.
his car, I ran my car.
I got that.
Essentially.
Okay.
Okay. So I had my partner at the time, maybe right around this time, was Kenny Urell, who we will learn about later. He was more of the writer and the recorder, and I would do the driving and get to the scenes and determine whether we were going to stick somebody up or not.
He did, and Kenny, we're going to learn about, which actually became your partner then later on.
Correct.
Which we'll get to. But I just wanted to just say one thing: the trust between you two.
Chicky and myself?
Chicky
Yeah.
had to be very tight.
Yeah.
And in Italian, we call it omerta, our secret,
Right.
our connection.
Right.
And is it not true what am I trying to say?
The bond?
The bond and the connection that you have as police officers watching each other's back is very, very strong.
Yeah, well, it's basically irrevocable. Once you stepped into a position of backing somebody up in a police force, certainly back in the day when I was there, when the crack epidemic, when all you could do was pray to come home without getting shot at, or in the middle of a shooting that maybe wasn't directly intended at you. I mean, there was a body a day easily in the street, and I'm not saying there was 300 murders in my precinct. There's about 100 murders a year.
Okay,
but for 100 people to be killed, that means 10 of those are shot. So that's about the average. 1 in 10 usually dies. So you can imagine the multiples of people that we have seen shot over the years. And so being around that type of scenario, guys like Chicky and myself were fast bonded, like to protect one another, to make sure we could go home at the end of the night.
At the end of the night. And we're talking East New York, a lot going on there. You're watching the Joey Ciccone Show Connected. My special guest, Michael Dowd. We're going to show you a clip from the 7-5. Check it out.
New York is in the grips of a crime wave.
It was like the heyday of crack.
It was violent, man.
Homicides, robberies, rapes. It was a war zone.
East New York, Brooklyn, 7-5 precinct, the deadliest precinct in the country. Who did I burn to get put here? It would scare Clint Eastwood.
When I first went to the precinct, I hear about this guy, Mike Dowd.
Mikey's just crazy.
Michael Dowd was a crook who ended up wearing a cop's uniform.
He was a criminal.
Once in a generation, corrupt cop.
I consider myself both a cop and a gangster.
Forget about Beverly Hills and all that other stuff. The ghetto is one of the richest neighborhoods there is.
Maybe there's some way we can make money from this.
La Compañía. It's a very serious Dominican gang.
$24,000 in our hands to talk.
Mike was of rain. Say no problem.
In his business, if you mess up, you got killed.
I'm a New York City cop. I'm taking a risk of going to jail for a long period of time. And you're gonna short me a dime?
His word against mine. And I'm a cop. I'd break your neck if your neck needs breaking.
I had 3 machines counting money, and it's still not enough time.
Everybody on the floor now!
There's no becoming a cop again.
You're gonna have me killed.
We knew we were up against a really tough crew.
A month ago, I was a regular cop, and now I'm a criminal.
That's what they taught us in the police academy. Got a guy in the front, a guy in the back, got an entry team.
You felt like you were God.
The normal person that's doing wrong is going to have a fear of being caught.
I never had a fear about getting busted
Michael Dowd did not have any fear.
because the cops around me would never give me up.